We're going to talk about my favorite brand of Chelsea boot, the Blundstone, even though this isn't my favorite model. So let's lace up, or rather, slip on, and explore what makes the Blundstone 500s one of the most popular Chelsea boots. One of the things I wanted to ask is if you'd please hit that subscribe button. It'll really help to support the channel and allow us to create this kind of content. Let's start with last things first. Instead of making you wait for final thoughts all the way to the end of the video, I decided to pull them up front. I'd still love you to watch the whole thing, but just in case you don't have time. I don't understand why you'd buy the Blundstone 500s. I'm just not sure why you'd buy them when the Blundstone 550, a much higher quality boot, is only $10, $20, $30 more. I'm not really even sure why Blundstone still makes the 500s. The 550 isn't dramatically better, but is it 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks better? You bet it is. If you're buying a pair of Blundstone Chelsea boots, I'd walk past the 500s and I'd grab the 550s. Unless you're really after a specific colorway of the gusseting and the leather, then there are some unique 500 versions, but beyond that, the 550 is a better boot. The iconic Blundstone 500s launched in 1968 and they've sold over 25 million pairs. Did you know there are just over 25 million people in Australia? It's amazing to think that Blundstone has sold a pair of 500s for every man, woman, and child living in Australia. They must be doing something right. The Blundstone 500s and the 550s are easily confused. The 500s are part of the original series, the 550s the classic. From afar, the boots are identical twins, but as you get up closer, you start to realize and notice the differences. One's a little more rugged, one's a little more durable, comfortable. That's the 550. This one, it's alright, it's just not quite as good. The quickest way to tell the difference between the 500 and the 550 is the stitching. The 500s have a single line of stitch, the 550s use a double stitching. The 550s also have this stitch just below the gusset where they bring two pieces of leather together, whereas the 500s, that's a single piece. Beyond some of those specs, when you get beyond the standard models, one of the ways the 500 stands out from the 550 is colorways. In e-com and retail, the colorway is the combination between the different materials or different colors that you can get on a pair of boots. On the 500, there's some pretty cool colorways, different gussets to go with the leather. Check out the 2105s that has a rainbow elastic, the 2301s that has a little bit of camo, or the 1409 that has a striped gusset. The fit and finish of the 500s is good, but it's just not great. Although Blundstone doesn't call out the difference between the 550s and the 500 leather, the 500s do appear to be a lower grade of leather than the 550s. You can really see it in the bluing right along the top here. The 500 isn't dyed all the way through, just dyed on the top, versus the 550s that are dyed all the way through. What that means is that if you get a scratch in the 500, it's more likely to show through to that undyed layer than the 550 is. The 500s use what the marketing team calls premium leather. If you're comparing, most companies would call this genuine leather. Sounds pretty good, right? But what that really means is that it's actually leather from an animal and not a synthetic substitute. Most boot companies, from brands like Thursday, Red Wing, or Fry, use full grain leather, which includes the entire hide leather. What this gives is a little bit of natural grain and a stronger, more durable part of the hide. Nonetheless, the 500s are still going to hold up really well. They're made of pretty good leather that's going to grow more supple with age, it's going to hold on to its water resistance and the durability of natural leather. The sole of the 500s is made of TPU, thermoplastic urethane. It's an incredibly durable, incredibly flexible and lightweight material that provides great shock absorption. As a work boot, TPU is resistant to most oils and chemicals, it's slip resistant, and it can withstand temperatures just below 300 degrees Fahrenheit. You might not want to wear them if you're laying asphalt, but TPU is a great material for work boots. Of course, one of the big downsides of these boots is they're not resolable, because that TPU is bonded to the leather. I'm sure in the comments you're going to see some folks say that they are resolable, but officially they're not. You might be able to find a handful of shoe repair shops or cobblers that are going to charge you about $100 to give it a shot, but it's really never going to be back to what it was originally. The other thing is that TPU isn't a natural material. It's not biodegradable and it's going to be around forever. It can be a little bit more expensive than some other materials, but with so many upsides, it's really tough to beat. The TPU sole is incredibly durable and incredibly comfortable. Let's take a look at the insides. If you look online, you're going to find some conflicting information about the 500s. But according to Blundstone, they do have a steel shank, and I've got to believe it to be true. The steel shank runs right along the sole of the boot, right here. What it does is it creates a bridge between the height of the heel and the ball of the foot to create some structure right along here. A steel shank is the most durable way to do this. Cheaper boots might use wood or plastic or nothing at all. Getting a pair of boots with a TPU sole and a structured steel shank should provide comfort for you all day long. The 500s are advertised as being more breathable than the 550s, but all that really means is that they don't have a leather liner. The higher-end 550s have a leather liner along the ankle that gives the boot more structure and durability. My other issue on the inside is Blundstone applies some material to the toe to provide some structure and support. But you can really see where that material is bonded, and it shows all the way through the outside of the boot. You don't have this problem with the 550 that has the leather lining matching up against a fabric toe box. Like any good boot or shoe, the 500s have a removable footbed in the insole. If you wear an orthotic, you can replace this. And you'll probably want to swap them out anyway, because this one isn't made very well. On the 550s, it actually comes with 2 sets, so you can stack them, remove one, try the other, and customize them to your foot. This isn't part of the 500s. You can't miss the pull tab that proudly announces Blundstone's 100% Tasmanian heritage. The company is still family owned, but the boots aren't made in Australia. These were made in Thailand. And Blundstone makes boots in a number of different countries throughout Asia and Mexico. We talked about the elastic gusset earlier from a style standpoint, but it's such a key component to any Chelsea boot. Brand new from the box, the elastic of the 500s can be pretty tight when you're pulling your boots on or off. But it'll quickly break in. Even after years of wear, the 500 elastic is stiff enough and durable enough to hold on without choking your ankles. Pulling on the boots can take a bit of getting used to. Check this out. One cool way to customize your blunnies is to embroider the gusset. Check out Nicole Embroiders on Etsy. I'll include a link below. One other difference between the 500 and the 550 is that the 500 is a bit narrower than the 550. You'd think they'd be the same shape and size, but they are a little bit different. The 500 is about 1/4 of an inch narrower. The 500s are pretty true to size. I wear a US size 10 in men's, which is a Australian UK size 9, so I wear a 9 in Blundstones. Depending on where you buy your shoes, they'll probably do the conversion for you. But remember, Blundstones are unisex, so double check the size on the Blundstone chart before you order to make sure that they have the right gender and size for you, no matter where you live. I think you can tell I'm a huge fan of Blundstones, but there's really only one main reason I think you should buy the 500 over the 550s, and that's if you want a specific colorway to go with your outfit. If you really want the green gusseting to match a green sweater, you're not going to find that in the 550s. If you're only going to wear these once in a while, if you're not going to be on your feet much, and you're not looking for a daily driver, then the 500 might be okay for you. They still have that timeless design, the comfortable fit, the rounded toe, the elastic gusset. They scream Blundstone. It's an iconic look for somebody who loves a classic style. They pair great with jeans, khakis, your 5-pocket pants. It's still a good pair of boots. The 550s are a higher quality boot, and they're more comfortable than the 500s. With that extra cushioning, the double stitch, the leather lining, it's just a little bit of a better boot. The 500s do have some unique colorways, and they are a tad narrower if that more suits your style. In terms of price, the 500s are less consistent than the 550s. If you keep your eye out and you're patient, you can grab them on sale during spring clearance for around $160 versus probably $185 for the 550s. Some sizes and colorways might even dip below into the $130, say, if you're looking for a specific size or a unique color. Late in the fall, you're probably going to spot them around $209 or above. One great way you can support the channel is by using the links in the description when you do click to buy your Blundstones. I get a tiny commission, but don't worry, it doesn't cost you a penny. You can also subscribe and like the videos or leave a comment. If you want to see a pair of boots reviewed, please leave that in the comments as well, and we'll get them on the list.